Hello, this is Zaid Ahmed from ASL BPO, and welcome to another blog about outsourcing. On today's blog, I'm going to talk about outsourcing data entry services. All right. Uh, so, for most businesses worldwide, there are some kind of data entry work being done uh, that is very much crucial part of their backend operations. And this is whether there are real estate business, an insurance company, healthcare centers, product manufacturers or wholesalers, whatever the business may be. Uh, each and every one of them has some form of data entry being done for various reasons. Uh, these data entries might be as simple as database updating or data cleansing and extraction, uh, product and catalog entries, or maybe it's just order processing and entries, image indexing, or any other work that might need to be done. A lot of the times, uh, these these data entry work can be simply outsourced to data entry companies instead of being done in-house. The reason being that these kind of tasks are very considered very menial and tedious and repetitive in nature, and it might sometimes be just more cost effective to have someone who specializes in this type of work, an outsourcing company, for example, a data entry company, and have them hire them to do this work for a much cheaper price than use your own office resources to have them completed. So if 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 you want to outsource, then comes the reason that then how do you actually choose the right outsourcing partner for your data entry needs? So one dilemma when looking to hire a data entry company is that if you search in Google, you will find many data entry companies, service providers. So you might of course ponder who to hire. One method to get an easy solution is to ask yourself, I'll ask yourself or ask the data entries a lot of questions, and find out a lot more details about them. So one of the first questions that you can ask is, let's say you do a Google search. Okay, let's say you do a Google search and 20 companies might have come on your search, and you did a preliminary search and you find out that these 20 companies are like looks okay or something. Maybe one is located in Bangladesh, or one is located in India, and one is located in Philippines, or and the like, right. So the first thing that you need to ask after that preliminary search is that, does the data entry company provide the exact service that I'm looking for, right? Because the term data entry is so wide, and there are so many things that can be that are done, which can be termed data entry. Not all of them are might be done, or a data entry company might have the expertise to do. So some companies might be specialized in some specific things, while others are expert in some other type of work, right? So that's the first thing that you want to ask: that do they have the expertise the of the work that I need my them to do for my company. The next thing that you need to ask, that how trustworthy do they seem in terms of completing the work, the project accurately. And how do you measure this, right? So because you might be a company in Europe, or you might be a company in North America or in Australia, and you're hiring someone from India or Bangladesh. So how do you know whether that company is reliable and trustworthy? So one of the easiest ways to do this is to um, see client reviews about their on their website, or see how many good reviews they have from their previous clients or from their existing clients, and then to talk with them in detail and ask them a lot of questions and see if their answers are satisfactory enough or are detailed enough for you, which which is kind of indication of trustworthiness, right? And that's one way to know whether they seem trustworthy or not. So the next question that you gotta ask is that uh, do they have a quality control department that will double check all work before sending over the results to you? Because if the whole point of having a quality control department for a data entry company or for any other outsourcing company is to make sure that the the project that they do that they're completing for the client, it's being produced at 99 point above 99% accuracy. So if that's something that they don't have, that then it means that there might be no point in hiring that company, since they might be their work might be much more error prone. You might also want to ask that what is my budget for the project, and which data entry companies seem to be the best within that budget, right? Like not all companies will have the same amount of budget for any specific work, and some companies might charge you higher, and some companies might charge you less for the same amount of work. So you gotta think about that too. So for example, if I give you an example, uh, data entry companies or BPO companies in Bangladesh might charge much lesser than, say, someone that is a BPO company in China or maybe in India, because the industry in Bangladesh is much more like new, and most of the companies are startups, so they might comparatively be cheaper than, say, in India or Bangladesh, or sorry, or in China. Um, Lastly, what you want to know is, like, what is the location preference. So as I just said, that BPO companies are located all over in China, India, Bangladesh, and then Philippines, Pakistan, and you might have there might be a possibility that you want to hire just from India and not from any other place, or you might want to try out a BPO company from Bangladesh or Philippines. So do you have a location preference? Is something or that you want to also look into. Lastly, you want to see how stringent their security protocol is, to ensure that they are capable of protecting your data, right? Uh, Talk with them in that regards. Know what security protocols are being maintained by the company, and whether their answer and whether what they have is satisfactory for enough for you. And that's definitely one of the most important things to consider as well. Now, when you're initially hiring an outsourcing company, it is to be, this is very normal that you'll have a lot of concerns. There will be trust issues because the outsourcing company might be situated in an entirely different country from where you're located. So, one of the best ways to address these issues is to always research thoroughly on the potential companies that you want to hire, okay, and have a detailed, talk or discussion with them in regards to your concerns, and if they are capable of like answering in a detailed manner, which satisfies you, that might be one of the first signs of them being trustworthy. Okay, so now that we have like done a preliminary research on what the outsourcing company that I might want to consider hiring to, you might also want to think about what are the advantages of outsourcing, right? Why should you like hire an outsourcing company instead of having someone do it from in-house? So One of the first advantages is, of course, there's guaranteed cost reduction. Like, if your company is in Europe, let's say in UK, and you want to hire someone in your who's going to do the work, data entry work in your office, instead of an outsourcing company, the cost will be so much more different, right? Because of the salary and etc., the living costs. So there's that one thing that outsourcing always guarantees a cost reduction, which which in which makes your company more competitive as well, because you're also able to, if your costs are lower, it means either you have a greater profit margin, or that you are able to be more competitive in your market. Uh, because most BPO companies specializes in the service that they provide, you get high quality end result, right? So that's another thing to think about. Uh, Also, because most of the BP companies would be very much professional about their work. You also get timely delivery of services, and that because you're having an outsourcing company complete all the work instead of having them done in house, there might also be a reduction in the document storage costs, since you will be investing less on infrastructure development on for these tasks in house. Uh, there's definitely a reduction on the time spent on hiring and training. So, for example, you need like 10 or 15 people for your data entry needs, right? And you just have to look for a BPO company who's capable enough to deliver your service, and that's it. You don't have to hire 10 people individually, hire and train them. Certainly not train them, right? That's something that the BPO company is responsible for. So that is something that is a big advantage, that you no longer have to invest time on these type of tasks. Um, another another thing to consider is, like, the BPO company might be a one-stop solution. Like, you might have other needs too, except for your data entry work. Maybe you want customer service, customer care service, or other back office support, and those are the things that also that BPO company might be providing services to, and you can hire them for those as well. Most BPO companies run 24/7 service, right, with a day and night shift, and that would be a great advantage for you as well, if that is something that you need. Also, most importantly, and that the BPO company would have the ability to scale and be flexible regarding the number of people that you want to hire. You don't have to really think about hiring more people, or firing them in case the volume of work is less. That's something entirely the responsibility of the BPO company, right? So that's something definitely that that is a major advantage as well. So that is all for this blog. I hope you like it. Please do read my whole blog on this regards, and see you next time.